Hello and welcome to another video. In this one we're going to be karting TeamSport Bristol with old petrol carts, but before they go all electric. So in this video I'll be joined by Ollie Bean and Autism, also known as My Mimic, and Elliot. I'm just going to probably say Elliot or Autism because he's under many names. So we're just coming out of the pits now. We're just trying to get the tyres warm before getting started properly. And we're off to an absolutely great start in the first couple out laps when they're testing all the flags. So they tested the red flag, so obviously everyone stops on track. We don't go back to pit lane, it's not F1. So we just stop on track, and then it went green. Everyone else starts going, nah mate, not me. I have to get a marshal to run over and help me because apparently my car just don't want to turn back on. And we're lining up on the grid now. I'm lined up in P7 as 5 red lights start to count down, and they go out, foot to the floor. I get off to a decent start, don't get any positions off the start, but we're just following through, backing up, and hopefully just try and get as many as possible going through. So we're going to go through this entire lap 1, and I've already gained 1 placement up there, up into P6, following up, we're behind Ollie Bean. He started in P2, I believe, P2 or P3, but he's falling down in an absolutely shocking start. So I'm following up in P6, trying to get into the top 5 there. Come through, tight inside line, hit that apex, and he left the gap. I went for it, so now I'm in P5, following up, we're behind Walters in P4, but Ollie Bean definitely does challenge me for it. He tries to go around the outside there, but he can't quite make it stick. I managed to keep the inside line through the final couple of corners, and then coming into lap 2 now. Straight up in P5. Someone is in my inside line, they absolutely sent me on the wall, spin me out completely. I'm dropping down the grid, I'm completely backwards. Ollie Bean, it kind of got stopped by me, and I'm just backwards, having to let everyone go before I can safely spin back around. I don't know how it's only yellow here and not completely red. And then I have to spin all the way back around. But now I'm down in P15. Absolute shocking start. But luckily, I'm not too far back because there's one person right there. So maybe I could actually start getting some positions back straight away. But no, that one didn't last very long. Instantly spun back around on my own accord. That was no one's fault about. Just a little bit annoying. But anyway, now we just have to play catch up. Coming into lap 3 now, I've caught up with the guy in P14. I tried to have a little look around the outside, maybe go for a switchback, but I just couldn't find the front grip to be able to turn into that corner properly. So obviously slipstreaming back. Just tried to look for a little gap there, but again just couldn't. I take the racing line, they take the inside line. They send me a little bit wide. I slot in again behind them. Again now I go for the inside line. I decide to go for a slide dive one, and I make it stick tight to the apex and leave the room around the outside. And then I completely cleared the outside with the apex again as a follow up on P13. I'm nicely through these corners now. I have much better pace than them, but again some of these tracks on the easiest to overtake if you can't find that front grip, and then I spin myself out and lose all that progress, drop back down into P13 it is, okay. I drop back down into P13. But I'm falling back up, this should be an easy move into turn 1, but I could not quite find the room there. But I can go around the outside through turn 2. Okay, the position of the marker is a little bit off right now, but that should settle itself in. There you go, I'm pretty sure there you go, I was in P15 a minute ago, now I'm in P14. So it was broken for a minute, that's okay. Well, I thought we're under yellows here because there is someone in the wall, so that is a placement up into P13 now. I did pass this guy under yellows, I'm pretty sure, yeah I did, P12. I know I shouldn't have, but also there wasn't much I could do with how slow he's going. Sometimes you end up passing him under yellows, it literally by accident because they are going that slow, so there's just nothing you can even do. Now we're following up, still underneath yellows. I'm catching up to the carts in front. I know I shouldn't, again it's under yellows, but they're going so slow. I'm going at more than slow enough pace for yellow flags, but they just don't seem to care. But they're just going so slow, so I don't want to overtake them here, but I get a good jump off the line there, up into P11, as I follow up on P10, through the underground section, coming round the hairpin to the ramp. Can I make it past? I'm not sure if I managed to fully make that move. Yes, I did. Coming up, looking at a P9 here. If I can get this, then I'm already in the top 10, but if I can do this, then this will really set me on to hold this placement for a long time. go on the inside, and yellow flag come out, so I have to go on the brakes, but I managed to get the overtake just before the flag come out. And this guy's going so slow that I'm not even on the throttle here, but he is actively on the brake. You can literally see his foot on the brake and not on the throttle, whereas I'm just doing nothing, which is so bad. So even the other guy that I just overtook is going around the outside of him, so I've gained a position, but then we end up battling and going off the line again. Still with the yellows, it goes green, and he gets to jump on me better, so he's up at P8, I'm dropped down to P9 again in lap 6. But I can follow up behind, try and fight for this position. I actually dropped down into P10 for a moment, but it seems like I managed to battle my way up, stick P9, fully secure it, take a tight line there, got to defend it, avoid a collision. We're going 3 wide, up the ramp. I managed to leave the room on the inside for that back marker. No, I'm the back marker, just a guy in the white race suit, but it ends up letting one of my opponents slip through, so I don't gain or lose any positions. So now I'm at P9 again. I hold P9 for a good minute here. Coming through into lap 10 at P9, and I've been lapped once, but that guy lapped everyone like 6 times, so that's more about it. And I see P9 I see P8, sorry, up ahead in a pack of back markers. I can try and use them to my advantage to try and slip through here. I am also back marker to the guy in the black race suit, unfortunately. He has a decent pace, but also momentum early on, but I managed to slip past up into P8 and just follow up in these guys' slipstream. I am also eating up the sturdy air, so the front grip is kind of lacking through here, but overall it doesn't affect these cars too badly. Following up, I get still at P8, just slipstream up the ramp, try and lower that drag as much as possible, tight through there. We're in a big pack here, a lot of these are back markers to me, and I'm a back marker to the guy in the black. Up into P7, but then I get spun around, and he goes through goes Rocky. I'm now back down into P8, and I have to spend a while fighting back upward to that placement. Okay, now we're coming into what will be my fastest lap of the race, lap 26 we're approaching now. As we take a wide line there, tight apex, keep good rear stable in the car, tight on all these apexes. We're not going completely flat, we just lifted the fire so slightly to make sure we don't lose the rear too much, but we can also still keep a good spin in the engine. Coming through, wider apex there, so we're tight apex through there. Again, very tight on here, swing round nicely into the next hairpin. On the down ramp, foot to the floor, roll it all the way down, stick to the left, glide completely through very nicely. Tight apex again, and then we cross the line, set at 41.779. So we're here in lap 29, and I'm really struggling with keeping the roller car stable. You can see I'm able to counter steer a lot through there, and the counter so much I end up completely losing it, and I get hit really hard. Now, the guy did come up afterwards and say sorry, he was a back marker. So that's why I didn't lose any placements there. It wasn't his fault at all, it was completely my fault. I just lost a car and he just happened to be there and happened to hit me. It was quite unfortunate. Both of us are okay, but that was a big thud that I really wanted to show her. So I'm following up on this back marker on lap 33. Not really trying to make the pass too much, I'm just coasting along at P8. Not thinking we're going to get any more positions, then boom, Ollie's in the wall. No yellows, no reds, because the marshals don't see it, so I've just gained a placement. So that benefited me quite a lot. Ollie ended up having to push himself out of the wall. If I can, I'll try and show his POV. So that was an easy placement for me. As I'm rounding through the upstairs section now, just kind of coasting on my own. Again, Ollie's a little bit too far back to currently pose me an issue. And there's no one, the guy in front of me is actually Elliot here, and he is a solid quarter of a lap in front. Again, after my big incident at the start, the front runners are that far ahead. And then there's a Rocky in the middle there. Again, no yellows, nothing. Don't know how they were there for that long, and it was just completely ignored. These marshals were actually on something. I actually just saw someone at halfway through. I just saw one of them just on my phone in the corner. Just not really doing any work, I guess. I mean, if they can get away with it, that's fine. It's fine for them. But anyway, let's move on, jump a couple of laps. So the yellow flags are out, I'm not really sure why. I'm just coasting along, it goes green. Again, not really worried about it, I'm safe on P7. And then all of a sudden, boom, Ollie Bean is there. Well, it lets me back through, as I drop onto P8, it lets me go through because he didn't like the way he overtook me because he kind of pushed me away, which is very, very nice of him. So he just stays up behind, probably slips through with me, just trying to follow my line, see where I'm making mistakes. He's just waiting for me to go wide somewhere for him to try and make a move. As I overtake that back marker, I'm kind of thinking I might be able to split us up here, take me to my advantage. I have a big slide there, but because the back marker's on the way, I don't think Ollie can really take too much of an advantage of him. To take a wide line, I'm really feeling the pressure here, getting followed on by a rival. Coming through this section, I think Ollie Bean is having a look to make another move in the exact same spot that he worked so well last lap. And he makes it through, and he causes the collision again. So he actually was, again, nice and just let me through. But I end up nearly sliding out, or spinning out, because I had a big slide. I don't know if that's Ollie Bean or a back marker there, I'm not too sure. But we're coming through with the down ramp section here. Ollie Bean is still on my tail. Nearly breaking my ankles at every last corner. But nothing to worry about. And it's lap 38 now. Very, 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 very tough battling through here. I'm trying to leave the space for everyone, but again, it's a little bit hard to see who is back marker and who is not. There's so many karts here, and I get hit out of the way to where we have a through goes beat at the moment. But he just kind of coasted along. We're in massive back markers, but nothing you can do about that. They should really be getting out of the way, but TeamSport doesn't have a blue flag system, and people only really blue flag in member events. They don't really do it in these sort of situations because they just don't care. Following through, I'm trying to make a pass as back markers to try and get that position back on Ollie. Very, very, very challenging. Trying to navigate through this many people. It's still a fairly tight track, it's not too wide. Following through very tight, managed to get the inside line of Ollie, but not quite alongside enough him for him to have to leave me any space. So I fall a little bit back. I managed to go wheel to wheel with this person up the ramp. Ollie Bean is a little far ahead. They have a tight apex. They managed to pull just enough ahead because I had a bit of a dodgy line. They were on the racing line. Okay, can I go on the inside here? Able to nicely go wheel to wheel. Still wheel to wheel. They end up going a little bit wide. I get a lovely switch back. Can I secure it? No, down the down ramp. They managed to have a racing line. I've slot behind them and then try and use my brakes there to try and be a little bit later than them with everything, just to find my way slightly past. Very, very, very challenging. They're putting up a good fight. They really shouldn't be putting up any fight considering that back marker, but that's not the point. They go wide there. I try to make my way round, but can't quite carry enough speed just to fly past them. Falling up still, I'm taking a nicer line, able to make it past right as we hit another back marker. So all out work was just for me to get hit with another one. Coming through, hopefully this one will be a lot easier. I managed to get the racing line off of them, clear them before we even get to the next corner, so I was able to get right back into my own race. Following up on Ollie Bean. Now I need to try and play major catch up here over the next lap or two. Going to be very, very, very challenging. Okay, so I managed to catch up with Ollie here over the last 2 laps. I see the guy in first coming up on us, so I just let him pass. Mostly because that's what you're meant to do. But also I'm thinking if I can let him pass on the easy place then Ollie doesn't, and he just makes Ollie go wait somewhere. I could play to my advantage if he managed to fuck over Ollie a little bit. But I'd just make him go wide somewhere and I would slip through with him. That was my kind of plan. Ollie definitely isn't letting him go as easy as I did. I'm encouraging him to challenge as I just moved over. So he's flying through here. But I have managed to slot back in about where I was behind Ollie. Not quite enough to make any moves, but again, just close. And maybe if I carry on having slightly better pace through these laps, then I should be able to get him in the next couple. Following up on the ramp, I seem to take I take much wider lines than I really to really hit the apex tightly. Still going ever so slightly wider there, swinging around a lot more. I see the line that I'm taking throughout this lap seems to be ever so slightly faster. But then it doesn't even matter. Ollie has a massive spin. I end up hitting him. Again, we're both okay for that one. Unfortunate on his part. But game's a game, I guess. Now we're just under yellows. Ollie's getting turned back around by the marshals if he cannot do it himself, which again is just unfortunate for him. But sometimes it just happens. So again, I'm just following up on this map. I'm just trying to make the pass, see if maybe I can catch up with someone who are up the field. And then they completely close the track and spin me around. It certainly right into a wall. They just, if you look, they just didn't look over their shoulder, unfortunately. It was a little bit annoying because I had pretty good pace and I really should have just moved over or at least left of space. But they didn't, they just completely close the track. It's very annoying when that happens. But, and then big part of there, somehow not yellows or red or nothing. And then we're just coming through. Okay, there we go, now it's yellow, everyone's slowing down. Now I'm here, crossing the line for my final lap at TeamSport Bristol. Overall, whilst we come in and finish up this lap and come to the pits, like, I like the track a lot. I actually really like the layout. The marshalling, probably not the best it could have been, there's a big part up there. Probably not the best marshalling ever, but overall it's pretty good. And I mean, you can't really hold it against a track or anything about quite annoying the back markers and not leaving space, because that's just every track. You're going to have people like that, especially in these public sessions. It was a 50 lap one, which 50 lap ones are really hit and miss. Are you going to get all members or you're just going to get a big family? This one happens to be like a big family. Coming into the pits now. Well, anyway, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, make sure you like and subscribe. Let me know what you want to see. If you want to see any gaming or karting or any other racing related videos, like and subscribe. Peace.